Cancer. This is a general reading for the week of April 4th through April 10th, 2022. We're going to be looking at messages from your higher self, messages from your future self, as well as a message from the universe to give you inspiration for the week. And we'll go ahead and also pull some tarot cards to get clarifications. All right. So in terms of a message from your higher self, you have many masks, the authentic self. So, oh wow, that's bright. Okay, so this card is basically encouraging you to wear different masks to kind of figure out the type of person you want to be, the different characteristics that you have, and kind of embracing all the different roles that you play so that you can find out the true mask or the true you that you want to be, that you are, that you haven't really been allowing to shine through. In terms of messages from your future self, you have Druid, hold the space. So this card is pretty much kind of telling you where to kind of create a safe space for you, like creating boundaries and allowing things that are uncertain to just linger until the time is right. And in terms of messages from the universe, you have Horus, scatter love wherever you go. So, there. So basically, more love needs to be left like breadcrumbs. So let's pull some tarot cards, get some specifics on these messages. So let's look at your many masks here. We have the Two of Swords, which kind of indicates a stalemate. You have the Seven of Swords, which indicates maybe imposter syndrome or a sense of liar, stealer, cheater. And we have the Five of Cups. So here it's you got stalemate because of, you know, like decisions are not great any which way you go, and you are kind of feeling comfortable in the sense of not making a decision, but really kind of stewing in a fear and anxiety. And with the Seven of Swords, it is kind of seeming like imposter syndrome. We'll clarify that. With the Five of Cups, it's really looking at needing to heal something. There's some loss, disappointment, sadness, grief, and that you are either kind of dwelling in it, or you are needing to feel those feelings and learn from it, grow from it in order to move on. So let's see what Hold the Space is about. You've got Three of Wands, which is ultimately about expansion and growth. You've got the World card, which is all about expansion and growth. It's about, you know, completing something, feeling good about it. And it can also be rebirth. And you have the Seven of Wands, which is kind of standing your ground and like feeling like you're challenged, like someone is challenging you. So for this hold your space, this World card like kind of indicates that if you have accomplished something or you're close to accomplishing something, just make sure that you tie up those loose ends. And if you've accomplished something that you're proud of, then enjoy it. And if, don't let other people kind of take that from you. So let's look at the scattering love wherever you go. You have the Five of Pentacles, which can be like it can be a limiting belief, a sense of not having what you want, but also not really going for what you need. And it's can also just be, I don't really see any other kind of pentacles here, so it's not really applying to finances per se, but just a sense of not measuring up to something. And you have here the Hierophant, which is about excuse me, tradition, rituals. For some it can be about getting some answers when you don't have any answers, and no one does. And then you have the Two of Cups, which is about partnerships and unions. So excuse me, 1 second. Whenever I have chocolate, my throat acts up on me. And I just had gluten-free chocolate chip muffins with chocolate frosting and coconut pecan frosting. Made myself a little mini German chocolate cake. So my throat's really acting up on me. Okay, enough about me. Let's take a look at this many-masked authentic self. I'm really interested to see what this Seven of Swords is about. You have the Devil. So, I am kind of thinking that this is a sense of imposter syndrome, limiting beliefs, really feeling that you don't belong in anything that almost anything that you do. To succeed isn't really a success, it's almost just like happenstance. And it's almost a limiting or negative thinking that makes it so that this Devil card kind of shows up, where it's not to your best interest. And so it seems like this many mask card is encouraging you to explore the different roles that you can be, different masks that you do wear, and not really hide it. Let's look at the Two of Swords over here. A sense of like maybe fear and anxiety. You've got the Chariot, which is your card, Cancer. And the Chariot's about moving forward and overcoming those obstacles, and being victorious, which really is almost the opposite of this, the Two of Swords, which is going nowhere. It's a stalemate. And it's as if you are used to the anxiety of not deciding and an anxiety of not feeling victorious about your accomplishments. So let's see how the Five of Cups plays in. You have the Page of Cups here. So with this Page of Cups, this, there. This Page of Cups, it's really kind of having you look at the potential instead of what didn't go right, what you didn't accomplish, what, like the wrongness of it, and look at the potential of it, and almost like this silver lining aspect of it. So you're making a decision where there's really no good outcome. You just look at the facts involved, make a choice, and deal with the consequences of it, and look for the silver lining in those and just explore. That's, failure is not, I guess the definition of failure, I don't know the official definition. This is the Sony Golden version of failure, definition of failure, which is not even trying, but making an attempt at something, not succeeding at that initial attempt, and trying again in a different way. That's not failure. That's how you actually end up succeeding. So let's move over here to this, hold the space. So the World card is about feeling good about things you've completed. Let's look at that, because it seems with this many masks, the things that you complete, you're not enjoying those successes. So you have the Knight of Cups here. So this is really kind of saying that you need to really approach things with a sense of imagination and creativity, and a sense of compassion. And this is not only approaching other people, but with yourself, and how you talk to yourself, and how you look at the things that you've accomplished. Let's get the Three of Wands over here. It's the Strength card. And maybe there. That's better? So with this Strength card here, it really is kind of saying that you need to recognize all aspects of yourself, the light, the dark, the courageous, the scared parts of you, and really embrace them, because that is really recognizing your strengths, recognizing your weaknesses, that not only helps you figure out your true self, but also in growing, you can see how those things are changing, how a weakness of yours might be used as a strength, or a strength of yours you might need to turn it down a notch so that it's not so overpowering. So in terms of, this is like you expanding and growing, and it seems like you're going to be able to go further when you start recognizing how you're talking to yourself, the limitations you're placing on yourself, the hesitations that you have, looking at why you have those hesitations, and recognizing that it's okay to have some like space where there's things you're trying to figure out, but when there's good to be recognized, taking that opportunity, and when you're using that space to do negative self-talk, to just ruminate over things that really don't serve your best interest, that's not helping you. So let's look at the Seven of Wands, because that's about kind of standing your ground. And then you have the Seven of Cups. So here it's almost a sense of like, what if you are kind of fighting against yourself in terms of feeling good about the accomplishments you make and like your light and dark aspects. What is it that you're wanting? Like, what is it that your heart is really seeking? That's kind of the question here. But if you start like scattering the love wherever you go, it's not so much about you. It's like it's almost like you're focused on yourself too much, on what you aren't accomplishing soon enough, dazzling enough, and not in that kind of attention to yourself is looking at what you are not, as opposed to what you are and everything else around you. So let's look at the Five of Pentacles. You have the Ten of Wands. So it does seem that you are kind of making this too hard on yourself. Maybe you set out with goals that are too difficult for you to accomplish without really putting all your energy into it, and it's just draining you. And maybe you have this kind of self-talk where you have to do it because you said you were going to do it, but then you forgot why you even said you were going to do it, and you're not even excited about completing the task. You just want to get it done by that time. So it's just this cycle of really doing too much because you think you need to do more in order to kind of meet up to maybe even an unrealistic idea or standard of yourself. Let's look at the Two of Cups, because the Two of Cups is about partnerships. It's about unions. And let's see how it plays in here. You have the King of Cups. So the King of Cups is someone that has really steady emotions. They feel a lot. They connect with people on an emotional level. They're not afraid to do that. And they really are able to kind of make decisions with their heart being compassionate, their mind being reasonable, and wanting the best for those around them. They're not really focused on themselves. They're focused on how they can connect with others and make everyone happy. So it's almost a sense of this scattering love wherever you go. You got to scatter it around yourself first. It's almost as if you are, let's see here, what am I looking at? So you have the Five of Cups here, clarified by the Page of Cups, which is kind of, like I was saying, looking at like the silver lining and the potential that can come about rather than what went wrong, and looking at, you know, things that you can't change in the past. And then you have the Knight of Cups here, where with clarifying the world, where it's just like, you know, recognizing your accomplishments. And the Seven of Cups clarifying the Seven of Wands, where it's kind of asking the question of, what is it that you're fighting for? What is it that you're fighting against? What is it you truly want? It seems ultimately what you truly want is this King of Cups, this Two of Cups, to connect with others, to, you know, feel like you are giving and receiving as well. But let's see if the Hierophant here kind of sheds a light a little bit more on why it is that you are doing so much and feeling so conflicted, when really you just want to, you know, show love, have love, be stable in that. You have the Ten of Cups. So with the Hierophant here and the Ten of Cups, it is kind of calling out that there might need to be a place of like a spiritual connection for you, in the sense that when things aren't really going the way you expected them, instead of going in this negative self-talk, being hopeful, having some faith, and thinking that things will turn out the way you want them, because what you want for yourself and for others is happiness and like a sense of community and belonging. And you do need to start with yourself, but perhaps talking to like a mentor, a counselor, someone who you maybe look up to, getting words of wisdom, maybe even daily inspiration, to kind of have you remember that like you are good enough, you can explore what you want to explore, you can make mistakes, you can grow, you can change, you can be recognize your successes, and you don't have to do everything on your own. You can ask for help, you can change your mind, you can reassess. So that's kind of what I'm seeing for you. I'm hoping this provides a helpful view of the week to get a more clear view of things. Be sure to check out your readings for Sun, Moon, and Rising signs, and we'll see you next time. Take care.